Welcome to Quick Tip Tuesday. Today we are talking about how to lower your blood pressure. According to Google, one of the top most searched health questions is how to lower your blood pressure. So if you have ever dealt with high blood pressure, you are not alone. That is something that a lot of people deal with. But before we look at how to lower your blood pressure, I want to first cover some risks of high blood pressure. Because like we've talked about before, there is discomfort when you create change. And your blood pressure is a result of things that's been going on in your life and your body and how it reacts to things. And if you want to lower your blood pressure, you're going to have to create change into what has been going on in your life or what's been going into your body and things like that. So before we talk about how to create that change, let's just talk about the risks of it so that you can make an educated decision if you really want to try to lower your blood pressure or not. Because if nothing changes, nothing will change. But if you don't find that important to change, then keep doing what's comfortable to you. But if you hear this list and you realize that blood pressure being high is not something that you want to be dealing with long term, then we're here to help you make some changes. So first off, let's dive into the risks of high blood pressure. Mayo Clinic shares a list of many potential risk factors for high blood pressure. That includes heart attacks, strokes, aneurysms. High blood pressure also weakens and narrows your blood vessels in your kidneys. Your kidney isn't going to be getting as much blood supply. It's not going to be able to as effectively remove waste. And because kidneys are involved with the production of red blood cells, it's not going to be as effective in that area as well. High blood pressure can also trigger metabolic syndrome, which is a disorder of the metabolism. This can lead to weight gain, issues with cholesterol levels, more problems with blood pressure, high insulin levels, and all this can lead to diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. These are all things that your risk for struggling with goes up if you have high blood pressure over a long period of time. High blood pressure can also lead to trouble with your memory, comprehension, and even dementia. So when we're talking about blood pressure, we're not just talking about, oh, you need to be a little healthier, or, oh, the only risk is a little heart disease. We're talking about something that can affect a lot of areas in your body, which is going to have a huge impact on your overall quality of life and how much living you're able to do and how much you're able to enjoy the living you are doing. So summarized, high blood pressure is not something you want to deal with on a regular basis, but it is something that a lot of people deal with. Since it's the top Googled health question, it is a very common health issue. So let's talk about how to lower it. Before I go through this list of ways to lower your blood pressure, if you have dealt with or are dealing with currently high blood pressure, I want you to take some time and just think to yourself if you really want to lower your blood pressure. Because like I mentioned before, change is hard. And so making some of these changes is not going to be comfortable. So you need to first decide, before you even hear how to lower your blood pressure, do you want to lower it? Because if you do, I'm going to ask you to pick one thing from this list that I share and start today to work towards. I'm not asking you to implement the whole list, but I'm asking you to pick one thing on the list that I'm about to share that you aren't already doing and implement it today. See, if you start implementing today, even just one habit, that is taking action, and that's going to start creating results. And when you start creating results, no matter how small, but you start seeing a little bit of results, you start feeling just a little bit better, then that's going to create motivation. And then you're going to be motivated to take more action. And as you take more action, you're going to get more results. And as you get more results, you're going to feel more motivated. And that cycle will just continue and continue until you are able to really dramatically decrease your blood pressure and feel better. So really ask that before we continue, you make a choice that if you struggle with high blood pressure, you're going to choose one thing from this list at least and implement it today. All right, here's the list. Now, some of these aren't things you could implement immediately. Some of them you could definitely start doing today. All right, so the first one is just to exercise more. This doesn't mean you have to start a real big workout program. It could just mean take the stairs instead of the elevator. Park in the back of the parking lot instead of in the front, so you have to walk farther. Clean your house, and maybe intentionally clean your house as fast as you can so that you get your heart rate up. Walk or take a bike ride. You can also do, for this exercise more, Workouts are great as well. Cardiovascular workouts, resistance training, high intensity interval training, and shooting for 10,000 steps a day. Especially if you have a smartwatch or something, it's really cool to try to get 10,000 steps a day, because then even if you're working in an office, you can take a few extra laps here and there and it really adds up. So exercising more is a great way to help lower your blood pressure. Limiting or eliminating tobacco and alcohol helps with lowering blood pressure. Reducing your sodium intake also helps with blood pressure. So the food you get that's processed, like fast food, restaurant food, prepackaged processed food, the salt they use is normally a really low quality salt. So while salt is important for our diet, that prepackaged, really processed salt is not good for you. So you want to try to make the salt you're getting to be high quality and then really reduce the amount of salt you're getting from processed and really refined products. Adding potassium into your diet can also help lower your blood pressure. Now, too much potassium can affect your heart rhythm, so we would suggest trying to consume that from food naturally, if possible, and if you need a supplement, maybe consult a doctor first. Here are some food ideas that are really good sources of potassium. Low-fat dairy, especially like milk, yogurt, fish, especially salmon, bananas, apricots, avocados, oranges, sweet potatoes, tomatoes, and greens. So there are a lot of ways you can get potassium in your diet naturally. Losing weight can also lower your blood pressure. Even just 5 to 10 pounds can have a positive impact on your blood pressure. So you don't even have to get to your health goal before you're going to help your blood pressure. Just a little bit can really help. Reducing stress helps lower your blood pressure. And that's a big one. Stress is so rampant, especially in adults. We have so many responsibilities. So I really encourage you to think about ways you could reduce your stress. If you are interested in a 5-day stress-less, 5 minutes a day challenge, make sure you go to wattlehealthandfitness.com/free resources. We have a 5-day yoga challenge. It's just 5 minutes a day of simple stretching to help you stress less. So that is wattlehealthandfitness.com/free resources. And on there is a 5-day yoga challenge just to give you some time to deep breathe and work on stressing less. You know, sometimes you can change your circumstances, or sometimes you just have to change how you handle your circumstances. So actually, before we go on, I want you to take 5 really deep breaths. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. Try to go over a count of 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. As you continue listening to this, keep deep breathing, because it's amazing how deep breathing can calm our minds and reduce our stress level. Reducing your stress level can help reduce your high blood pressure. Consuming less caffeine can also help reduce blood pressure. Also, eating whole foods and less processed foods can help reduce your high blood pressure. You know, this one right here helps with a ton of health conditions. Focusing on whole foods and eating less processed. It really helps the gut, and it just numerous, uncountable ways does it help your body. If that is something you want to work on and a meal plan idea would be helpful to you, make sure you go to wattlehealthandfitness.com/FBU. That's FBU for Feel Better University. On that website, you can find more information about our Feel Better University, where we provide you with weekly meal plan ideas, grocery shopping lists, and meal prep ideas to help you consume more whole foods, eat less processed, but also do that without having to spend a ton of time cooking and meal prepping. So make sure you go to wattlehealthandfitness.com/FBU if that's something that would be helpful to you. Foods, less processed, really focusing on lean, high quality protein is a great way to help lower your blood pressure. So that would be things like fish, especially salmon, eggs, chicken breasts, lean beef, legumes like kidney beans and lentils, chickpeas, nut butters, and if you're not sensitive to peanut butter would be just fine. And that's a great snack. Either peanut butter or almond butter is a great snack on celery. That's a lot of protein. And that celery is going to give you fiber, which is the next topic we were going to talk about, is focusing on foods high in fiber. Celery is one of them. Pretty much all fruits and vegetables have a lot of fiber, especially if you leave the skin on. So when you're eating like a potato or an apple, eating the skin is a great way to up your fiber consumption. Also, whole grains have a lot of fiber. Another way to help reduce your blood pressure is to get adequate sleep. And this isn't just sleep time in bed, but this is adequate, good quality sleep to make sure you're rested and your body can complete what it needs to complete while you're resting. So you wake up in the morning and you feel rested. That adequate sleep is going to help lower your blood pressure. So these are just several ideas of ways to help lower your blood pressure. I encourage you to pick one of those things today that you're going to implement. And then as you get comfortable with that, pick one more thing to implement. You know, we really encourage creating a healthy lifestyle one habit at a time. And we don't say that just because it's cool to say. We say it because we really mean it. When you start implementing 10, 20 habits at a time, that becomes more like a diet, and that's more short term. That's not easy to sustain because you just changed everything at once. You know, when you're trying to teach a kid to help you clean, you don't teach the kid to clean the whole house in one day. You teach them how to sweep. And once they get sweeping done, now they learn how to mop. And once they get mopping done, now they learn how to wipe the tables. You don't teach them in one day because it would be overwhelming. They wouldn't remember it, and you're pretty much setting them up for failure. It's the same thing with a healthy lifestyle. Normally, when you start 10 to 20 healthy habits right at one time, you're setting yourself up for failure because you're not going to be able to sustain that. But when you pick one habit, implement that, get it going. Now it's not taking as much work because it's a habit, implement another. So we like to suggest adding one healthy habit a week so you can really focus on it and make it a part of your lifestyle. And that way you relieve the stress of having to be perfect. It's okay. You just were a little healthier than last week. So there's some things you can refine. Next week, get a little healthier. Helps reduce stress, which helps reduce your blood pressure. So I hope today encourages you to make one new habit that's going to help you lower and reduce your blood pressure, which is going to help your overall health in the long run. You have a great day. Thank you for tuning in to Quick Tip Tuesday with Tyler and Hannah Waddle.